Let's welcome for the panel discussion our moderator, Mr. Hitesh Dua, Head of Customer Experience and Operations, Huru. Please give him a huge round of applause. Mr. Hitesh is a seasoned leader in startups and customer experience management. He has led cross-functional teams across CX and operations. At Uber, he ran key programs for driver partners, enhancing operations and service quality. So for those who are coming by Uber today, you know who to thank. At InMoney, he led customer experience and product operations, driving user satisfaction through data and feedback loops. Currently at Huru, he is building an AI-led customer experience for co-branded prepaid cards across UAE, blending fintech with high-touch service at scale. Next up, welcome our panelist, Mr. Indranil Mukherjee, Deputy VP and Head Customer Experience, PVR Limited. Please give him a huge round of applause. Next, we have Mr. Rahul Rajpal, VP Customer Experience, Global Operations, Aspire. Please give him a huge round of applause. Welcome him to the stage. Next, we have Mr. Chirantan Sharma, Head of Product, FNP, Ferns and Petals. Please give him a huge round of applause. We are honored to have all of you here today. Today's panel discussion is Personalization 2.0, the role of AI and predictive analytics in CX.
Okay, guys, so everyone has done lunch, or are we feeling sleepy? After this game, okay. So we'll get started. So the thing is, I'll share an example of a friend. My friend, a very close friend of mine, Deepak, who smokes. Who's the smoker here? Any smokers in the house? Put your hands down. It's a trick question. You don't need to raise your hands. So Deepak is an avid smoker. And whenever he goes to this, tapri to buy his smoke for himself, even before the Deepak arrives, actually his favorite flavor, Choti Advance, comes up. Even before he comes up, arrives at the store. So by recognizing the face of the customer, the vendor actually hands out the cigarette. That's the level of personalization that we deal with. That vendor is doing it at a very small scale. But today we will be discussing how can we predict user requirements at scale. And we have a group of panelists with us. So we'll start on with these type of real-time examples. And we'll be coming to Rahul to begin with. So Rahul, the question is that what do you think, like how the companies of, how the companies are actually using AI, which is anyway a very buzzword and became very boring. These days, everyone is putting AI into it. How they are actually leveraging it to reshaping their brand stories and also using predictive analytics in the same. Over to you, Rahul.
Thanks so much, Hitesh. Firstly, after lunch, it's always a difficult session because we want to engage with the audience and we want this to be a lot more conversation as compared to we just sharing, our thoughts over here. As a group, we were also discussing before the break that we want to share some real-time examples because we want this audience, to gather these examples, but also share some of your examples because we are here, to share as well as learn. So is that a good pact? Yeah? Okay. We don't want this session to be boring. Make it, sharp, make it concise, and learn from each other. So Hitesh, your first question is, how is AI really helping shape, the predictive analytics? I want to start by saying that we need to move our mindset from being reactive to proactive. And that's where the predictive analytics come in and play a role. We also talked about in previous sessions that we saw, some people questioned about AI, some people questioned about, chatbots don't really work. Yeah, sure, it's not most perfect right now and we need to really evolve. And the good news is that we are in that era where all of us as practitioners, as well as industries, we are shaping up the way AI can truly help us transform the experience for our customers across industries. Yeah, with me so far? I'll give you a real-time example. I watched something on Netflix. Next time I see it, Netflix is already giving me a recommendation about what content to watch because if I'm watching, let's say, a comedy show, Netflix is telling me watch comedy show. Over the weekend, I usually try to order something from a fast commerce companies like Blinkit or a Zepto. And now these companies have started, sharing basis my usage pattern, they predict my need on a particular day, and then they say, hey, looking for a cappuccino today or not. So that's another good example, they're already understanding the customer needs. I'll give an example. So, my current role in a fintech organization, we are trying to reinvent business banking. And we started looking at the customer journeys. Now, we are not waiting for customers to reactively come to us and tell us, hey, I have this problem. We started looking at preempting, their needs right at the very stage, they're interacting with us. I'll give you an example. An onboarding experience can be a make and break. That is the first impression you'll get, when the customer is trying to onboard. And, if the customer experience is poor, the customer most likely would not want to then really engage with you or, spend time with you, with your brand. So we said, how do we make the customer experience really meaningful in the onboarding stage itself? We mapped the customer journey. And we realized that the biggest bottleneck was when the customer is actually putting the documents for onboarding, we typically come back, or historically we used to come back and say, hey, Mr. X and Y, this document would not work. Can you now give it to me? Now, it's very frustrating experience, isn't it? I'm now, having to go back, again, fetch the document, give it to you. And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, if they are giving me so much of pain right now, God forbid, if I'm going to start interacting with them or engaging with them, it's going to be even more painful. So we said, this customer journey, we need to preempt the customer needs. And this document, let's say out of the 5 documents, the 5th document is most likely going to get rejected by, for XYZ reason. Put a prompt right away for the customer so that the customer would know this document may not be good enough, may take more time, and in lieu of this document, you can use this one. And we saw huge improvement in our onboarding speed, but more importantly, the customers were not coming back frustrated that, oh, I didn't like, your onboarding experience. So sharing some of that.
Great insight, I believe. And I was just looking for a visa processing website the other day, and I opened this e-commerce app and it showed me travel adapter. So it actually creeped me out that such type of data is available on the internet and how these companies are using, which brings us to a topic of data privacy and protection. So I would like Chirantan to address the same. How do you think that companies should leverage data privacy, particularly when so much is available at just one click?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a great question, I think, and very contextual in today's environment. Uh, I think all of us must have heard about the famous, case of Target. Anybody in the audience? Okay, I'll quickly try and articulate that. So just imagine that a family receiving communication about baby products and maternity products, etc. Uh, and the family is kind of surprised that why they are getting this, because so this is like kind of a eye opener for everyone, that when personalization goes wrong and when the data privacy etc also goes wrong. So what happened that the daughter of the family was kind of either with her digital experience, maybe she was searching for such products or was trying to know about it. So what company started doing was that they started sending her communication related to that. So it was all, the parents didn't even know that their daughter is pregnant. So that's like a shock for them, and it's like creepy if you really think about it. So when we talk about data privacy, I think best advice to all the organizations can be that only collect the necessary data to start with. Second is that when the data is collected, let the user know, you know. And I think all of us who use Apple, I mean iPhone, will know that how neatly they are doing that. And the third is that give control of that data to the customer. That if they don't want any kind of a communication, please allow them to switch it off. I think that is the core of the new law which is also going to come, which is already actually on the verge of getting rolled out, DPDP Act. So the core of that law says that the data belongs to the owner and the data belongs to the customer. So for any kind of data that you use, of customer, you need to take consent. So, yeah, I think data privacy issues are real, and organizations should be cautious about it. It can be make or break at some time.
Right, right. So we have to be there before the customer knocks, but we don't have to creep them out specifically. Which also brings us to a fact that there are a lot of pitfalls which companies generally ignore and they don't look forward to it while implementing these AI solutions, because we are always in hurry to save costs, and the market is ever evolving very fast. In every 3 months, 6 months, there is a new ChatGPT version, and we are all just chasing that. So would like Indranil to address this particular thing. What are the common pitfalls which a company should avoid while implementing AI and predictive analysis solutions?
So I think anybody, most of us are CX professionals around here, I hope, and all of us knows when as CXOs and heading CX organizations, the biggest problem is that in the front of the board, you are generally a cost center, not a profit center. So the biggest pressure comes, hey, give us quality, but bring the cost down. So let's say we have, hypothetically speaking, 1,500-seater contact center. CFO in a board meeting says, why do you need so many people answering customers' queries? Let's get on a voice bot, chat bot. Karo. That is the pressure from the board which comes from the CXO to implement the solutions, and the pressure of ROI, pressure of pleasing the board. We sometimes go mindlessly into solutions without checking what's happening. So I'll give you an example from my previous organization. There was again from the board, voice bot, somebody said, okay, we'll reduce 50% of our calls. We'll reduce the cost by 50% of a contact center. Great, implemented. Fantastic. So voice bot is on. One day a customer writes a mail to the CEO saying that, most horrific experience, your bot couldn't understand what I was saying. I was stuck in that bot for 20 minutes for emergency situation. When I heard that call, I was horrified because bot got stuck in a loop and didn't even let the customer go further. He was like, and he was trying to book a wheelchair, by the way, which was a critical important thing. So that led me to believe, bots are finally something a human makes. But what is important is that you understand the technology. First, you understand what the customer wants. Does he want a robot? For a generic query, yes. For PVR, which cinema, where is Kesari 2 playing, which shows playing, yes, a bot can answer that. But for an important thing is that when a bot should be important to understand technology, that if a customer is stuck somewhere, deflect that call. You still need humans in India. We're still not ready for that stage that we're 100% on AI. So understand the technology, understand what the customer wants, and then bring in a solution so that it's seamless for the customer, or else you lose your customers, you lose that money you spend in that tech, and it's gone forever. So think carefully before implementing a solution. That's what the biggest pitfalls, and the cost of ROI, pressure, cost, that is all the pitfalls what I have seen from my life.
Thanks, Indranil, for the insights. And also, when it comes to pitfalls, it also comes where we have to measure how our AI experience is. So I believe this is the question for everyone, that what sort of KPIs that we should keep while implementing such solutions. Of course, cost and experiences, which are very generic, which are measured. What are some of the out-of-box ideas that we should consider, and we should have it as a KPI while implementing such solutions? So we can start with Rahul.
Yeah. No, I think what Indranil said is very close to my heart, because we don't start by saying, I need an AI solution. AI is a means to an end. And as long as we are in acceptance that AI is just another tool that is in your bouquet, that you can pick it up and say, can I leverage that? Ultimately, we are still solving for a business, for a customer, and that's the most important thing. And if AI can solve, great. If AI can't solve, put humans and continue to refine AI. Back to your question, in terms of,
KPIs, what do we measure?
Yeah, so we are metrics focused organization, by the way, to start with. And I don't want to say this, everything we can measure through the metric, but we do measure a lot of metrics. To start with, we want to track what a percentage of our customers are actually coming and leveraging AI. An example is today we are at a 60th percentile. We don't want to be at a 100th percentile, but what could be a good optimum, let's say, level of 70, 80. So that's one thing that we track. We track the AI resolution rate. If the customer's coming and interacting with AI, could be a bot, could be it's a fin on email that, the response is going back. What percentage customers are actually been able to get the resolution? And if the resolution rate is lower, that's a clear indication that your AI is not working, and you need to continue to either refine AI or put more, human agents in the backend. We look at the customer experience, both from bot as well as human, and compare between the two. It's not a good comparison, but we do compare that if the customer experience is truly good in the bot versus not. And finally, we also look at, from a AI perspective, what exactly is the efficacy of this AI, in the sense that it's resolution time, it's uptime, how quick the AI bot can actually hand over back to the agent, because we realize, and from our own experience as well, you don't want to be in the loop with an AI. So you need to kind of, train AI and build that model where post the first question, max 2 if required be, it is, giving an option to the customer so that the entire experience does not become frustrating.
Got it. Chirantan?
I think my friend has already covered everything. What I just feel is that the first step is to, understand where are you using those solutions. I mean, if the AI is used in for customer handling, then of course what he was saying is right. But let me take another example, that if you're using AI for product recommendation, then obviously think it like this way, that you're recommending a product, then how many of your users are buying it and how many of them are repeating it. So I think the repeat is the true barometer of everything, is what I feel. Sometimes I feel that that even trumps the NPS score that we get, but that's more of a marketing angle. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to say, that we should look at the process in which we are going to use this, and the matrix will not change. Actually, it will continue to be the business matrix that we have. Or maybe we can ask ChatGPT
Sure.
that on what grounds they want to evaluate themselves.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with what Rahul said, and what Chirantan said, that metrics won't change. Metrics will remain. You cannot change a CSAT or a FRT or a AHT. Yes, those differ. I mean, you can measure it separately for a bot and for a human. But then for a customer, let's say I'm interacting with the bot, the moment conversation ends, ask for a CSAT. I go to an agent, end the conversation, again ask for a CSAT. I'll drop it. So, that is one way I've seen it getting skewed. So overall blended, you should see, let's say, implement a AI solution. See the overall health of your CX metrics before and after. You'll get a pretty good picture of, what's happening. Then you can probably tune it down to a breakup between a bot, because you get those metrics separately in all dashboards, that how's your bot performing and how's your human performing. So metrics won't change. Deep down analytics of, doing a bifurcation between the two will give you a better vision.
I'll add just one more very real-time example that happened just last week itself. So among the number of metrics that we track, we were tracking bot resolution rate, how much interactions bot can actually resolve, and we were almost 4 to 5 percentage point down. I asked this question to the expert in my team and said, what happened? And the person came back, with after a day or two, with the deep dive analysis, and showed me that there is a good 10 to 20% increase in the customer comments when they are bypassing the bot and connecting with the agent. They're explicitly saying, don't want to talk to a bot. Sure, good learning. And we don't need to contest. I can go back and explain the metric, or a down in the metric to the CEO. But we do need to respect what the customer choice is, right? So yeah, sure, I can continue to improve the bot resolution and overall efficacy and experience, but I can also defend that my metric may be down because my customer is still getting the resolution that they are looking for.
Just to add on to what you said, once we implemented our chatbot about 6 months back, so our percentage of live chats to an agent dropped 70%. Management was super happy. Wow, what a great bot we built. Resolution percentage is so high in the 90s. So I think that's really something struck me. Went inside, actually customers were getting stuck or not able to get to an agent. So that was also a flip side to it. So you have to write chat with agent on the bot. Then we made it more easier. Then we start building that hybrid technology where, if it's asking that same question twice, a pop-up comes in that, do you want to talk to a live agent? And then again it dipped. So that's way how you should give the customer an option. When it's getting stuck, please deflect it to a live agent.
Right. So I believe putting guardrails to where we need to stop and have human interaction is something which is very, very crucial. And there's also a question of running a business ethically sometimes, because our bot may expose a lot of information which may not be needed. I specifically remember training my chatbot a while ago, and I asked that, is my competition offering this thing better? And it actually said yes. Then I had to reprompt it and have a fine tuning of it, particularly that if you say such keywords, if customers say such keywords, you don't respond, you just transfer it to an agent, and then that was a guardrail that we implemented. So how do we prevent such information? How can we put more guardrails into it when we are implementing AI? Or if you guys have specifically have those use cases where you have prevented AI from answering that particular or addressing that particular query?
So initially, guardrails weren't there. We've seen AIs hallucinating. Recently, not very recently, but 4-5 months back, there was this case where Gemini said to a customer, please go and die, when you were asked to do its homework. So guardrails are super critical, but it's also important for us to know the customer. Classic example is Ghibli images. The servers crashed off ChatGPT, right? But did people know the images they were uploading were actually copied? They could take the right out of the images and could use it anywhere. Customers were not aware about it. So it's equally ethical for the organization to put in those guardrails, letting customers know what information you're putting is safe with us, number one. Guardrailing the AI tool, it does not hallucinate and stays within the defined criteria. That if customer is asking about movies, he should not go and where is again example of Kesari playing, not given information, Cinepolis is in your house, please go there. It should give information about PVR only. So those guardrails and the data ethically, because once we go out with any partner, we're not making it. We have very strong NDAs in place. But are those really strong enough to put in? Is the data getting leaked? Those things are something probably in the purview of every CXO and digital organizations. But it's important that ethically we let the customer know this is your data, it's safe with us, and we do all means to keep it safe so that it's not leaked to the organization anyway.
Rahul, any insights from
I can also add one more practice that we have followed. We have a very clearly full-fledged documented policy on the AI usage, and we also put our privacy as well as the data protection policy on our website as well to make sure that how we are using the data, how we are complying with the privacy, because it is not good to have, it is mandatory. And GDPR, CCPA, DPDP, that we talked about as an act, customers are expecting and demanding that we need to be clear about how we are using the data. So just want to flag that.
Okay. So specifically, coming that we have discussed specifically about how do we prevent data and how do we have those compliances in place. However, that comes up with a very big cost to it, and small companies or mid-sized companies may not be able to incur that cost, may not be able to deploy that intelligence into the system. So if I have to ask that, how do small companies or mid-sized companies, even like ours specifically, how can they leverage AI while also being compliant at the same time? So anyone can take up. Indranil, you want to address it?
I think the most important, obviously for large organizations, it's, I won't say easier, but it's, having legal team, having those contracts in place, and IT also plays a major role in doing it. But for stronger organization, what I would probably suggest is that if you are implementing a solution then you should try building it yourself. It's not easy, but slow, small, open source are available. So it's easier to bring in the guardrails and everything in the organization. Once it starts scaling up, then you look at larger vendors probably do it with the NDAs and clauses and everything there. And very important is that, of course, like Rahul said, EU GDPR, but we don't have GDPR as of now here. We have that new law is coming in BBTP. But then it's important that you have a very robust reward and penalty matrix. So any kind of a data leakage, because today a customer in normal websites you have forget me. Customers can demand you delete my data. I can delete his data from my system. What about my vendor system? It should equally be there that deleted from my CRM software, my booking system, which is not owned by me, but controlled by us. So that kind of strong policies, NDAs, and the IT intervention is very, very important here.
Rahul, because
So-
you cater to, I believe, medium and small businesses already in your current organization. You would be very closely be working with them. So what sort of feedback or initial, thought process do they have?
Yeah. So I think to start with, integrity and trust does not require you to always think only big budgets that we need to use, to be able to build that. It's a foundation. It's a very cornerstone, for any organization to thrive, scale, and sustain. Otherwise, you would have no footing, right? So that's a starting point. Second, I'm currently part of a SMB organization, and we may not have, lavish budgets, but what we look at is when we are looking at an AI vendor, either we, like Indranil said, either you build this in-house and you build, the experts, who can then use either OpenAI, Gemini, or any other, software, or you would engage with the partner who you fully do the due diligence, risk assessment, and also talk to their clients, and continue to look at, whether they are providing services through your contract, which is also holding them accountable for them to be completely ensuring your data and your AI practices are compliant. So that's something that we have done. We've not scaled this, with many partners, because then the risk is that, you don't know how to really mitigate and manage, with many partners. So start small, make sure that it is, adequately and robust enough. And then, over a period of time, the big question would be, do you want to bring this in-house or you want to continue to scale?
Yeah, Chirantan.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to my earlier point. So, if you collect only the necessary data, first of all, you already have, you know, deflected 50% of the problem. Second is that there are some aspects of business, as a business, as an organization, you cannot compromise on certain things, even if you have to pay. And data integrity is falls in that bucket. So I don't think so, and it's not that much also. I mean, you might want to cut some other budgets which are frivolous, but this is something which you should do. This is non-negotiable. This is like table stakes.
Just to add on to what Chirantan said,
I
a lot
think
of
the law says that there is a penalty of 4-5 crore for if, 5 crore for
5
the
crores.
DPDP this thing. So yeah, they are serious
but
about
that's
it.
the
There is a
that-
reason. Yeah.
The thing is that there's a
Okay.
catch at the maximum.
That's a maximum.
It can go minimum to that. So just one example. A lot of when we register on a web or a app, ask for date of birth, anniversary, very simple thing. You think you'll get a good offer. But globally, when hacks happened into your account, passwords are always maximum times a combination of your date of birth or your anniversary or your partner's date of birth, child date of birth. The information we give away very casually. But this is where the data leaks happen and the breaches happen. So why do I need? I mean, it's good to have. You have his name, phone number, email ID. That should be enough for personalization or any kind of these things you want. So minimum data you take from a customer, lesser your risks are.
Great. So I think coming to the last bit of this discussion, how does the future look like? What are some of the emerging trends when it comes to hyper personalization? When we discuss everything, but how does the future look like? And this is a question from everyone. Like just a quick insights on everything. Chiranjan, starting with you.
So I'll give you one example from Ferns and Petal. We are in the business of occasion, where usually all the customers who land on our website, they send gifts to their loved ones in India and across the globe. So now what happens is that just imagine that a customer is sending gifts to their partners, their brothers, mother, father. It's like a family tree, right? So when you talk about say a daily consumption product, which is like usually when we go on Zomato, Swiggy, we are buying daily, etc. Then personalization was possible earlier also, but now when I put a use case that I am talking about, just imagine that if I am buying flowers for my partner, and they can be, I mean, first of all, whether it should be flower or a cake or maybe a diary, because I don't know if I'll send flowers to my father, he'll feel happy about it. He will think what's wrong with him. That's the thing will come in his mind. So when this is so dynamic, it is only possible with the technology that we have, AI. And now, of course, we have moved to agentic AI, so which is also very promising. But these kind of use cases will start getting solved as we move forward. This is largely what I can easily see happening in a year's time. If we talk about, yeah, Sal Altman has already said that we are on stage three. Stage one was chat, and now etc. But practically speaking, what I feel is that in 3-4 years, the conversation with a human will become premium service is what I feel, because everybody will move. Like we right now we are talking that a lot of customers are writing, I don't want to talk to a bot. Soon, very soon, humans will start sympathizing with the bots. That okay, let me go slow. This is a bot. Let me try and explain my problem so that my problem gets solved fast. They will become like that. The behavior will change. Right now they're getting irritated. Very soon they will start sympathizing and giving correct responses, etc. And human conversations will be expensive, is what I feel. Premium service.
Sure, sure. Rahul.
I think for me, uh, as a customer, if I really put myself into the customer shoes and say, what do I need? And then, the technology and the trends, can help me augment that. I want the brand to uh, proactively look at what is my need, preempt it, and either resolve it or do it for me. For example, I'm into the payments or a fintech industry. If the payment is getting delayed, I don't need to reach out to the teams, and tell me, where's my payment. You tell me right there in the app, and when exactly and how you exactly resolving it. That to me would be the cornerstone of where we are going. AI agentic solutions posing very good promise, but again, to my point earlier, AI is a means to an end, not an end itself. So I would want to then cautiously look at, which solutions, would truly help my customer.
Sure. Indranil.
I think time's up, but I completely agree with Rahul that, it's very good to say, oh, but there's a very thin line between hyper and over personalization. That's one. What do customers need? What is customer experience? We talk about lovely things, personalized greetings, personalized service, everything. All that said and done, what I agree that customer needs his problem solved as fast as possible. You call me Mr. Mukherjee, you call me Indranil, you call me whatever. If I'm talking to a bot or a human, they say, sir, I know why you're calling. You've been trying for this XYZ problem. Done, got it. 24 hours, it will be resolved. I'm the happiest person. I don't need any frills, nothing. So with bots, humans, strike that balance, give the customer what he or she needs, solve his problem in real time, that's all.
That brings us to the end of this discussion. Thank you so much, Indranil, Rahul, and Chirantan, for all the clear insights and real-time examples. I think the audience also enjoyed it. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all our panelists for this deep dive into personalization. Now, I'd like to invite Mr. Akash Kathuria, Lenskart, to please felicitate our panelists.